Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Skies of Arcadia Revisited. I'm Nye, and because we're done with discoveries for the most part, we're going to head directly west, or, well, west-ish, and we're going to head over to Maramba, which is going to be the city at the edge of this flying island. And by city, I mean small town that barely accounts as settlement. Inwards to Maramba we go, where we're going to do a lot of things. Sell some discovery information. Get some Moonfish. Get a Cham. And Vice is amazed at how hot it is in a desert. Notice the captain isn't with us, and for some reason he's deciding to take off with the Little Jack, leaving us be, stranding us in Maramba. And there he is, somehow going backwards and flying the ship without actually being in the cabin, says that he needs to part company with us. He's got his own quest to worry about, and he needs to go find Drachma. Aka's kind of annoyed with this situation, that he's leaving us be, and stranding us in the middle of the desert without a ship. Then we're not going to be able to continue on with our mission. But Drachma states it's not his concern. He has no interest in crystals or temples and must find Drachma. He cannot waste any more time babysitting us. And off he goes. Heika wants him to come back, insults him, but apparently he's not listening whatsoever. Well, now we're boned. Heika comments we can't get out of the city, that we're stuck here, and Vice says that we need to start exploring the city, that maybe we can find someone who can take us to the temple. That's about all we can do. Well, it's not all bad, right? Drachma has left the party again. I told you, it becomes a running joke. Okay, so first things first, we're going to go ahead and save over here. It's been a little while since we last saved. Half an hour to be almost exact. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to ignore that building. We're going to go all the way over to the pier over here, where, as you might be able to see in the upper right-hand corner, there's a Moonfish, which apparently I'm not quite close enough to catch. There we go. First Moonfish of Maramba has been caught. There's one more that we're going to find fairly soon here. And now we can go into this building. And here is the ship merchant and the sailor's guildmaster. We're going to go ahead and buy and sell discovery information, specifically sell. We're going to get rid of all the stuff we just got. Now keep in mind that Oasis is still used, apparently, for land-based travel, but even the guildmaster didn't know about it, which means he's not very good at his job. Now notice there's nothing for us to buy, so we've caught just about everything. Occasionally he won't even have information with the really hard-to-find ones. So, Balter the Blackbearded, if you look at a wanted poster after you've actually beaten the person, it'll tell you basically what happened afterwards. So, Balter has left after he got beaten by us. The trade routes through Nasr Mid-Ocean are much safer, but he has sworn vengeance against us. And now we can hear about Rupi of the Larso clan, who is apparently a very big man. He's a legendary leader of the Larso clan. And apparently they have recently attacked Maramba. They are known to be fierce in strength. That does not sound like something I want to do right now. So we're going to go ahead and leave that alone. Instead, we're going to head up here and actually go into the city proper. So Maramba's, I mean, once you actually get onto the ground, Maramba's a decent size. And it's an interesting place. There's not really much to do here. The first thing we're going to do is head in this direction towards the inn. Not because I want to rest or anything like that, but because there is a Cham here, as you'll notice Cupel is trying to let me know. So let's go ahead and pick that up. Should be right around here. There it is. And next we want to open this chest and gain some magic droplets, which are definitely welcome. In fact, I intend to, if I have money, I intend to max out my magic droplet inventory after I make sure to buy my next level of equipment in this town. As I said, it's basically the most important thing for you to have is magic power. It replaces basically every bit of equipment you can possibly have. Okay. Where do I want to go now? What do I want to do? There's a lot of stuff we can do, but most of it requires us using one of these things called Dabu. They're a rideable creature. It's the only time that ever happens. Oh, right, I gotta talk to this dude. Yes, I wish to ride a Dabu. Thank you, I will take one. Thankfully, it is free. I don't have to pay anything to use this thing. It gets into its ready stance. We will just walk on this for a while. And the first place we want to go, we can only get off where you see those 2 red poles, wherever those are. There's not a ton of places we can go, but this is definitely one of them. So we're going to go into this building real quick. Ignore the guy who's doing training exercises. We're going to go over here, and we're going to open that chest to get some Nasr combat mail, which, is that something Vice can actually wear? Or is that, oh, is it, better question, is it better than what he has? It gives him an increase in attack and willpower, but lowers his defense by a bit. I'm actually okay with that, so we're going to go ahead and equip that. And instead of him having the flame mantle, let's see if we can give it to someone else. Unfortunately not, so he's going to have to wear that, or nobody's going to be wearing that for a while. Now, the question is, do I want to give... I'm going to give Aka the Throckrin scale. It's going to lower her quick down by about 2 points, but I'm completely okay with that. Instead, she's going to have an increased power of 10, which is cool. By the way, I didn't mention that Vice is now Vice the Determined. I think that's an upgrade from the last time I looked at his title. We're going to run over here to Fina real quick, because we do have a couple of Moonberries, and she has some stuff I do want. So her first skill costs SP of 12, which is going to be very hard for us to get. But it will bless all party members with regeneration, which means we're going to just casually and passively gain HP back. The second skill is the one I really want to not have. I just want to skip it. I don't actually want the skill. But she'll use the power of the Silver Moon to damage and possibly stone a single enemy, which means they'll be unable to move. It's basically petrification. Or, it's not paralysis, it is petrification. And, yeah. So, it's not a really good skill, but it leads into really good skills. So, we do want that to be available to us. And now we're going to go ahead and march over here on our Dabu. For some reason, these things remind me of Jar Jar Binks. We're going to go ahead and jump onto the building here to get this treasure chest, which is going to give me a Slipara box. And as you heard from the sound just now, there is a Moonfish that we need to snag. Is it this spot? Not quite. This spot? There we go. And there's our second Moonfish from Maramba. That is both of the Moonfish here, so that's taken care of. And now we're going to go ahead and continue to explore the city. There's not much else to do in this direction. We've gotten most of it. So what we're going to do... is there a treasure chest in this building? I can't remember. No. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go through these gates right here. We're not allowed to go through these gates unless we're on the back of a Dabu. So you actually do have to use this thing. We're just going to march across the sand for the whole 100 feet to this isolated little area over here. I'm not sure even why this area is like this. Let's ignore the child on the ground. I'd love to if they would get out of the way. We're going to jump up here instead. So up here, we'll go ahead and open this treasure chest, which will give us 300 gold, which is piddling change at this point. It's not very useful. But hey, it is there. It is good. We don't really care. And then we're going to go ahead and dismount our Dabu at this particular spot right here. Vice, you're a natural at riding a very unnatural vehicle. And next, we're going to go down. We're going to descend down here into this dry well, because there's more stuff down here. A couple things we need to get down here. First, we need to change our camera angle. And this cave is really all kinds of irritating, because it is a puzzle system. And the puzzle isn't particularly hard. Please don't take this as me saying this area is hard. It's just an area I don't like, because it takes a lot of time. So we've got to work our way through. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to move up the left-hand side so we can rise up this ladder, which should lead us directly to another box. There's our Moonberry. Is that enough to get Fina upgraded again? No, she needs 2. Okay, we definitely want to get her upgraded as soon as we possibly can, because her next level up, I believe, is one of her more useful ones. In fact, all 3 of her remaining super moves are incredibly useful, her final one, of course, being the most useful. And I definitely want access to those, but I can't have them, which sucks. Okay, let's go ahead and clear the map over here, and we will instead move into this area, which I had ignored previously. So this area is a bit of a maze. It's meant to be. The way it works is that we have these iron gates which will block our way. And what we're meant to do is to push these buttons, which you'll see right here, like this button. If we push the buttons, all of the gates will swing. All of them. and so this causes a little bit of a maze puzzle where we have to figure out where everything is. Excavation arm got picked up. That's a weapon for Drachma, so it's obvious that we will be seeing Drachma again sometime in the near future. And there is another treasure chest over there. So we definitely want to find our way, you know, to get over there somehow. Can we go around this way? No. Okay, let's see if can we go around this way. Not quite. We'll find our way. I'm going to get that chest. It is going to happen. This time, let's hit this button. Swing that open like that. Can I go this way? No, but if I swing this button, that will similarly not allow me to get that treasure chest. Okay, hold on. Which button do I have to press? There is a button. There's one that actually sets this up. Hold on, I gotta figure it out. Is it... That's why I hate this area, because I can never remember the solution. Is it that one? Is that the one I needed to do? That's cut off. And that's open. But in the wrong direction. Well, I can leave, but that's not what I'm trying to do. It's not what I want. Well, that's the combination. Where is it? I need to approach this from this direction. Apparently. Okay, hold on. I think I remember. I think we come down here. No. that answers that. That answers that question. No. Okay, we need to press that to close open. Then we need to go over here and press that one, which will do that, which will allow me to go over here and get cut off by another gate. God damn it. Wait, was that it? That might have been it. There we go. As I said, this area is obnoxious. Okay, so we got the Gem of Fluidity, which is completely and utterly worthless. We already had one of these. But, as I said, it's important for you to do, so that way you get the completion for like, the final thing we do in the game, the Vice the Sky Pirate. So, or Vice the Sky King, rather. So now I gotta get my way out of here. This involves flicking a few switches. And then going around like this. So that's all the treasure chests from Maramba already found. It's just that easy. We've already found the Cham. We found the two Moonfish. So we are in a very good way right now. We have done a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure that we use the 2 Chams. And now Cupel has leveled up to the Cupel Cone, which is going to give us a little bit more power. The next thing we do is we're just going to go in here into this bar where there's that dancing girl, and we're going to talk to this dude. Yes, we wish to see the new dancer. We definitely don't want to leave without seeing her. That's a very true thing. So let's go talk to her. She thinks we're handsome, and she's never seen us before. We should go make ourselves comfortable and stay a while. That sounds like a great idea. It's been a while since we've had time to relax. Let's sit down. Sit down. And doesn't that dancer look mildly familiar? So Aka comments that, in Nasr, you sit on the ground, and it feels good to do so. Shouldn't rest too long. We gotta look for a ship. We gotta find one. We should try the docks, potentially. There's some looks of the familiar-looking dancer. And Aka can't believe that Drachma just left us. He probably had his reasons, but he should have said something earlier. Didn't have to leave us in the desert. Vice is not responding because he's a little bit entranced with the bellydancer up there with the jiggle physics. Aka's kind of pissed about this and gets right in his face, wondering if he's heard a single word she said, and Vice, answers as best he can, apparently. And Aka is, wondering, making sure he could pry his eyes away from her. And, you know, I think this is another swashbuckler choice, and I believe, to be honest, is the good choice here. So we'll say we'll stop staring. Just so she's such a good dancer, he didn't want to insult her by looking away. New lands and new customs, of course. And Aika wonders what type of excuse was that. Not only are you undressing her with his eyes, not that it would take long, of course, she's not actually wearing all that much, but she has to hope he wasn't zooming in with that eye patch. And Vice is all kinds of embarrassed. And he might be thinking a little bit too highly of himself, thinking she's been looking over, but she does seem to be looking in that direction. And Fina's kind of curious, you know, do you find it hard to believe that this girl is looking over at Vice? He is very attractive, and she wouldn't think he was strange at all if the dancer was looking at him. All of a sudden, Aika, Vice wouldn't want something like her. I mean, who knows where she's been? Right behind you is, in fact, where she's been. Do you travel a lot? Yeah. This dancer is remarkably well-informed, wondering if we're the group of air pirates that escaped from the Grand Fortress. It's amazing the type of things you hear. Wondering how she knows about that, but, you know, she comments if you hang out in places like this, you'll overhear all kinds of things. Rumors, local gossip, and news about the other lands. So all of a sudden she sits down, settles with us, in kind of a lounging position, looking directly at Vice. You even hear stories about air pirates eating a ship, especially if they talk as loudly as this group does. She comments that she can give us a lift. Vice is really happy about this. And Aika's kind of curious, though. She's kind of suspicious. Why would she help them? And there comes the dancer saying she knows that anyone who can escape from the Valuan Grand Fortress would interest her. You gotta wonder why, but, you know, people find things attractive. What can we say? Her name is Belena, and she's gonna begin making preparations. We'll see them at... she'll see them at the port first thing in the morning. And there's the wonderful kiss. So that's the end of that cutscene, and that triggers the start of the next area. So what we need to do is we need to hop back on this Dabu and go all the way back to the inn that I started at a little bit earlier. So let's go ahead and do that. You can see the Jar Jar Binks in the background there. I think this looks just like Jar Jar. What about you? So let's go ahead and march along this direction. It's just as useless. It plods just as slowly, and it looks just as goofy. Okay. So now the door's closed, we can go ahead and jump on here. And for a very long time, we are done with the Dabu in that corner of the city. We'll be back there for one other thing much later on in the game. So for now, we'll just run over here to the inn. And we'll go ahead and spend the night. Because there's nothing left for us to do here. We have... that's not true. I almost forgot. I am not playing like an RPG player. You go to a new city, you gotta find the weapon shop. Which, if I remember correctly, is going to be this building right back here. Notice the air conditioning. This guy, weapons? This is the item merchant. I do want to talk to him, but good job, you. Bangs his head, and no wonder he's, you know, waving around like that in the background, all dizzy, like he just whapped his head on something. Is this weapons? Nope, this is a woman who I'm going to hate later on. So we're going to ignore that. We'll be back here for her later. Again, much, much later in the game. So instead, let's go here. This is the weapons merchant. So let's buy and sell some weapons with him. Specifically buy. We want to buy a Nasr cutlass for Vice. The Nasr mail, I can use, thinking about it. I'm just gonna get 2 Nasr mails. No, not 11. 2. And we'll equip that to Aika and Fina. And, do we want the Nomadic Veil? No. Sandstorm Ring? No. Okay, we're good. That's all I need to do there. We have a ton of money, actually, more money than we should probably have at this point in the game. And I haven't exactly been grinding, so gotta wonder what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and run in this direction, and we are going to fly ourselves into the item merchant's building. So we can go ahead and buy a bunch of items, including the magic droplets that I want so much. So we're going to want them soon. Yes, 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 do your dance. Buy and sell various items. Where's the magic droplet? How much of these can we buy? Can we buy 99 of them? We can buy 82 of them, which is close. So we're going to do that, and now we have magic droplets forever. What we also want to do... So I could buy some Sacred Crystals and some Sacred Crystals. Those are nice, but they're not exactly what I'm looking for. What I do want is, let's say 50 glyphs of... No, you know what? Let's say 30 glyphs of might, and 30 glyphs of speed, and the rest is going to be healing salves. These are amazing items, and actually you should be using them just about any time you can. Glyphs of might act as a free incrum for whoever you toss it on. Glyph of speed acts like a free quicka for whoever you toss it on, and healing salve is a regeneration ability. So we'll be using those a lot for the boss fights. They're going to make my life a lot easier when it comes to not having to use magic, not having to use SP to cast a magic spell. If we talk to this woman, she immediately knows who we are, that Belena mentioned we'd be coming, our room is ready, we just stay the night, and once again, Belena's, we're special vendor for Belena, so she's going to give us a special rate in our room. That special rate is free, and that's going to make our life really easy. That's the second free night we have spent. Look at the stars in the background. So the captain is just sort of drifting along, looking for signs of, signs of anything. And his conscience seems to be getting the best of him here. Should he have left those kids there? What is he worrying about? Someone will take care of them. Yeah, that's right. Pass the buck, Captain Drachma. Out of the corner of his eye, he notices a very long and pink ship. Kind of suggestive of something. And Drachma recognizes exactly what that ship is. It looks like, yep, he knows who it is. He looks a little bit concerned, don't you think? I'd be a little bit concerned, too, if I know who that ship was. And I do, so I'm concerned. Except not that much, because I know what to do about it. So typically, we're going to get a lot of free nights and inns, and between that, I'll also have a lot of items to keep me going. So typically, we're not going to stay in, we're not going to ever pay for an inn, basically. Because I basically never have to. Going to go ahead and save in slot A. In Maramba Port. Spent about 9-10 minutes in here, you know? Or was it 19? Somewhere like that, I don't know. Wasn't paying attention to the numbers. And we're going to go ahead and leave. We're going to go directly down to the docks. Now, unfortunately, even though I did get 2 Moonfish, I have no way to go back to dock to actually give him the Moonfish. So those Moonfish are going to sit inside my inventory for, a little while. Next, we're going to go over here and talk to Belena.
Hey, handsome.
She trusts that we slept well, and we really well should have. And he comments it's the best night's sleep he had in a long time. Because the last time we slept anywhere was either on a ship or it was in Valua in the crappy beds. So we should get ready to start exploring the desert. And Belena gives us a quote, "Only those who have walked through the desert can truly know its size." Apparently a saying they have there in Nasr. But it's too difficult to cross the desert on foot because of the heat. Mere half a day's walk can be deadly. We need a ship to cross it. And this is their ship. This little putter here. Doesn't look like much, but it's very reliable. Aika wonders why she's going out of her way to give them a ride, and Belena's response is that she isn't very grateful. If she was dying of thirst and someone offered her water, she would probably ask where it came from first. Aika's a little bit upset about the implication there. Notice that Belena is still barefoot. But if she must, if she must know, she will tell us. Her father was a soldier, a poor man, and sometimes a little short-tempered, but a good man nonetheless, and a good father. They struggled to get by, and her father was barely able to support us. They had nothing to rely on, but they were happy, of course. Until about 20 years ago. 20 years ago, Blue and Nasr declared war on each other, and her father was killed in battle. When he died, they had nothing, no food, nobody to support, nobody to raise us. They had to live on the streets. You can't die from a broken heart, some say, but they're wrong. Her mother died after her father. She was so sad. Belena was alone and scared, and had to fend for herself on the streets, and that's how she ended up living as a dancer. Of course we had no idea, Fina. We can't read minds. But ever since then, she's hated war. Hundreds of people die. Hundreds of families have to go what she went through. And that is why she's helping us to use her ship. Now, keep in mind, she doesn't know who we are, or, really what we're doing, but she's letting us use that ship anyways. And, Vice's response is, of course, we will do it. Which is, of course, the swashbuckler choice. There's not really much of a choice there, right? And Belena seems happy for us helping. Or us letting her help. So she's, sorry what she said earlier. Aika shouldn't have spoken to her that way. She lost her parents when she was young as well, and knows what Belena went through. Who's, Belena's very forgiving. As long as she understands and doesn't take her generosity for granted. Okay, gotta get aboard. The Temple of Pyrynn lies far to the east in the middle of the desert. Let's go. Did we at some point tell her we were going to the Temple of Pyrynn? I don't recall telling her that. So now we have a new ship. Now, unfortunately, as I said, this ship cannot pass through the stone reef because we do not have any way to get through. We do not have any way to burst these rocks, so we get repelled. So unfortunately, we cannot go to dock. Instead, we are going to go east for a very short ways. Notice that her ship propels itself by fans, which I always thought was a cool touch. And one rather quick combat later, we gained the Revered Voice, which I believe is another accessory. Is that one actually good? I can't remember. Boost defense, magic defense, especially to purple magic, and protects against silence. In other words, no. So we're going to continue working our way along the desert. We're going to go directly east. Typically, there would be an enemy ship here that we could engage in ship-to-ship combat, but because this ship has no armaments, we can't actually do it. So we're going to go right over here to the Temple of Pyrynn. I could have actually discovered this place earlier when we were actually going looking for discoveries, but there would have been no point because we have to go here anyway, so I kind of skipped it. So we found the Temple of Pyrynn, a stone building thought to have been created by an ancient dynasty. The stonework and construction demonstrate a high level of technology for that period, but no clues are left that point to the purpose behind these huge creations. So now we're going to go ahead and land the temple. Up comes the camera to show exactly how huge this temple actually is. That's a lot of steps.
Wow.
So this is the Temple of Pyrynn. It's absolutely huge, and she can't believe it. It's the most amazing thing she's ever seen. And Vice comments that the people of the old world were able to build things in this heat, and it's built on the sand, so it's absolutely incredible. Deep within this temple lies the red crystal, says Fina, but be careful, because according to Sylvite lore, it is guarded by hordes of creatures. And we gotta go. Belena's not gonna be helping us, of course, because she's, she's unable to fight monsters in that particular outfit. So it might be a little rough in there for a beautiful woman, says Vice, and Aika wants to know what about her and Fina. They're women, apparently. Wants to know what Vice is trying to say. So they're gonna leave Macho Man behind and get the crystals by themselves. Fina enjoys the joke, of course. Thinks they would get it faster without him, and Vice just feels all kinds of put upon. Belena has to joke about it, thinking that all three of them cheer her up. We're all really good friends, apparently. And Aika comments that a beautiful woman like herself has got herself, could get herself a much better man than Mr. Foot in his mouth over here. No one special in Belena's life, apparently, but there is someone that she's in love with, but he'd never give her a special look, a second look. But she doesn't want to talk about it right now, so we should get going, go inside. You know what, I agree with her. We should be back before Belena even notices we're gone. So we're going to walk up here. This outer section of the temple actually does not have any monsters whatsoever, so we don't have to worry about that. We can just work our way through. We got some gigantic heads around us. I don't know what their point is, but they're looking directly at us. It's kind of scary. And we got some sort of little altar here. Probably where they made human sacrifices, or, something like that. And then up the 80,000 steps, which luckily the game gives us a area change, so we don't have to worry about that. And instead, we get to walk over here where there's another couple of heads and a immediate save point, which is where we're going to stop for the day. Thanks for joining me, guys. When we return, we're going to go ahead and bust through the Temple of Pyrynn and see what's on the other side. I will see you guys later. Ta-ta.